Evie softly sings Ba Ba Black Sheep to comfort her terminally ill mother, Evelyn, the same lullaby her mother used to sing to her as a child. Later, she puts on her headphones, letting the noise around her fade into silence. She scrolls through comments on the latest episode of Undertone, the podcast she runs with her best friend Justin, where they discuss supernatural and paranormal cases. Moments later, she calls Justin.
Hello?
Hello? How's your mom?
Evie says she hasn't eaten in 2 days. He then brings up her boyfriend Darren, asking if he's helping out. But Evie sighs, saying he can barely take care of himself.
I should have listened to you a year ago. I know.
I told you so.
Trying to change the subject, she asks how things are going with him and his girlfriend. Justin says they're good, then casually jokes that what she really needs right now is a Waterloo meatball sub. Evie laughs and tells him he should come visit her. He pauses, saying he should, before adding that she could visit him in England too. She simply responds with a maybe. Justin offers to come help her, but Evie gently turns him down. He then suggests they take a break from the podcast, but she refuses, saying it's the only thing keeping her sane. Justin laughs, saying it's the complete opposite for him, since some of the stories are insane, like the one about a girl who played with a Ouija board alone. Evie quickly shuts it down, insisting it wasn't a ghost that put her in the tank. The girl was simply depressed. But Justin isn't convinced and says it still could have been a ghost. She then asks what they'll be covering in today's episode. Justin teases that it's going to be juicy, adding that he'll tell her once they start recording so he can get her genuine reaction. They then begin recording.
Welcome to another episode of the Undertone podcast. I'm your host, Evie Babbage, and I'm joined by my co-host, Justin Manuel. New episodes every Friday, anywhere you get your podcasts.
Justin starts the episode by bringing up their last episode, where they discuss the mysterious I Feel Wonderful blog video, which supposedly drove 92 viewers to take their own lives, but not before slicing off their ears and mailing them to the blog's headquarters in Palo Alto. Evie laughs it off, calling it fake, but Justin tells her to keep an open mind and asks her to stop playing the video. He then adds that after the episode, he checked their podcast emails and came across a strange one. He forwards it to her. The subject line simply reads LOL, and it contains 10 audio files, along with a series of descending letters followed by an upside-down smiley face. Evie spells it out, atonement at tenet, then shrugs, figuring it's probably just some kid messing around and that the files could be a virus.
That's what I thought too, but then I said, screw it, and I actually clicked the first file.
Evie calls him brave and asks what it was, and Justin replies that it sounded like a phone recording of a young couple, adding that he only listened for a few seconds before stopping, thinking it might be good for the podcast.
From what I gather, the girlfriend's name is Jessa, and I haven't heard the boyfriend's name yet, but let's have a listen to the whole file.
He then plays the first file. In it, the boyfriend says he's recording because Jessa doesn't believe she's been talking in her sleep, but Jessa insists she hasn't.
Good night, Bubba.
Good night, Bub.
You know, I see a little bump of sound about 4 hours in. Let's skip to that part.
And the bridge is falling down, falling down.
Proves that she's not only talking in her sleep, but singing in it too.
Justin explains that the recording goes on for hours, but that's the only major spike. Then he moves on and plays the second file. In this one, the boyfriend says Jessa finally believes him after hearing the recording. Justin skips to the next spike.
Jessa? Come back to bed.
Evie suggests Jessa might be sleepwalking. Justin agrees, then asks what she thinks Jessa is listening to. Evie says it sounded like London Bridge, but in reverse. Justin says he also heard something else and replays the audio. Evie frowns, confused, saying she doesn't hear anything. Justin points out that it sounded like, Mike, kill all.
What are you doing?
Evie brushes it off, telling him he's just creating meaning out of random sounds. Justin insists he did hear it. Evie points out it's an old children's song and asks if he's really implying there's some hidden message in it. Justin tells her to wait, saying he's looking up the dark meaning behind London Bridge. He then says that Eleanor of Provence, the queen consort of England in the Middle Ages, financed the construction of London Bridge. He goes on to say that all 9 of her children died young, and she feared the bridge would collapse unless a sacrifice was made. So she ordered 9 orphaned children to be buried alive in its foundation. Evie immediately pushes back, saying any old nursery rhyme can be twisted into something disturbing, like Rockabye Baby, where a baby falls to its death from a treetop. She then asks him to look up Ba Ba Black Sheep, mentioning that her mother used to sing it to her when she was a child.
And found something.
Why am I not surprised?
Okay, so people have heard a hidden message here too. So let's test this out ourselves, see if we can hear it. I'm downloading the song right now, and I'm gonna play it in reverse.
He asks her if she heard anything, but she says no. He tells her he found an article about this song. He explains that it is about a sheep farmer whose sheep all turned out black, and that black wool was considered useless at the time because it couldn't be dyed. With nothing to sell for the winter, the farmer and his family starved to death until villagers eventually found his sheep feeding on their bodies. Evie points out that many children's songs seem to include children dying or something messed up happening to them. Justin suggests it might be about kids suffering for the things adults do, and that these songs are meant to warn them. Justin then plays the third audio file. This time, they hear loud snoring. Jessa's voice comes through as she tries to wake her boyfriend, calling him Mike. She sounds uneasy and tells him the bathroom faucet just turned on by itself.
His name is Mike. Evie. Mike, kill all.
Evie grows uneasy and says they should wrap it up. Justin agrees. Before ending the call, she asks him to send her the reversed version of Ba Ba Black Sheep. Evie takes off her headphones. A moment later, the light in Evelyn's room flickers on. Evie slowly walks in, softly says goodnight to her mother, and turns the light off. The next morning, Evie suddenly starts throwing up.
Hi, this is Evangeline Babbage.
Concerned, she schedules a doctor's appointment and is told to come in tomorrow. Shortly after, the hospice nurse arrives to check on Evelyn. She asks if Evelyn has eaten or had anything to drink. Evie shakes her head, admitting she hasn't had anything for days. The nurse gently explains that they're likely looking at anywhere between 20 to 30 days before Evelyn dies. Evie quietly asks how she'll know when it's time. The nurse tells her to listen for a distinct rattling in Evelyn's breathing, something commonly known as the death rattle. Shortly after, Darren calls. He casually mentions that he's throwing a party at their place and invites her to come. But Evie reminds him that she has to take care of her mother. But Darren points out that she's been stuck in the house for months and urges her to come, even if it's just for a few hours. After a pause, Evie reluctantly agrees.
I love you.
Okay, bye.
By evening, Evie is already running late. As she's about to say goodbye to her mother, she notices that Evelyn had soiled the bedsheets. She quietly cleans everything up while her phone keeps buzzing nonstop. Before leaving, Evie gently tells her mother that she'll be back soon. The next morning, Evie returns home and starts making coffee. As she heads upstairs, she suddenly notices Evelyn lying on the floor. Panicking, she rushes over and lifts her back onto the bed, then breaks down in tears, blaming herself for leaving her alone. As she tries to compose herself, she notices a small figurine nearby. She places it in a drawer, where she discovers a strange drawing. That night, Evie listens to the reversed Ba Ba Black Sheep song and writes down what she hears. Suddenly, her phone rings. It's the doctor. He apologizes for calling at this hour. Evie tells him it's fine. He then informs her that she's about 6 weeks pregnant. He offers to refer her to an OB/GYN, but Evie says she needs time to think. The next morning, while washing dishes, Evie hears the sound of a faucet running. Hesitant, she slowly goes upstairs and finds the bathroom tap turned on. She shuts it off. She then walks into Evelyn's room, wondering if her mother somehow turned it on. But her attention shifts to the figurine she had placed in the drawer earlier. This time, she picks it up and puts it away in the closet. Sometime later, Darren calls, but Evie ignores it and pours herself a drink. She then plays an old voicemail from her mother.
Hi, Evie, it's your mama. Just calling to say hi. I'm wondering if you're coming to Mass tomorrow. I haven't seen you in a while. Anyway, I'm just calling you to remind you. You're Mama's little girl. I'm praying for you.
Evie starts searching online for hidden meanings in children's prayers and comes across an article. That leads her down a rabbit hole. She looks up Ring a Roses and London Bridge, finding that each of them has some dark or sinister interpretation attached to it. Just then, her phone rings. It's Justin. He asks how Evelyn is doing, and Evie says there's been no improvement. He apologizes, but she tells him it's okay. He then asks if she's drinking again. Evie quickly lies and says no. Justin sighs, saying he doesn't want her slipping backward. She reassures him that she's fine.
What are your plans after? Are you back to Darren's?
Evie says she's thinking about getting her own place.
What about the house?
Can we just start?
Yeah, we can start. Okay.
Justin brings up how strange it was that the bathroom faucet in the couple's house turned on by itself. Evie brushes it off, suggesting it could just be an old house with plumbing issues. Justin, however, tells her to keep an open mind. He then plays the fourth audio file. In it, Mike tells Jessa to put the baby sleep time doll back in the baby's room because it creeps him out.
No, she's sleeping with us tonight.
Curious, Evie quickly looks up the doll online and sends it to Justin, who agrees. It's definitely creepy. Evie then points out that Mike mentioned a baby's room, suggesting the couple is expecting. Justin asks if she thinks that's where Jessa has been sleepwalking to. Evie says it's likely. Justin resumes the recording and skips ahead to the next audio spike. They hear loud snoring, followed by a heavy banging noise in the background. Jessa wakes Mike up, and the file abruptly cuts off. Evie says the banging could easily be explained, saying it's probably just old pipes or something stuck in the plumbing. But Justin cuts her off, saying he heard a faint voice just before the banging started. Evie says she didn't hear anything, so Justin plays it again, louder. Evie listens carefully, then shrugs it off, saying it just sounds like gibberish, probably an overlap from earlier in the recording. He agrees and plays the sixth audio file.
Jessa, babe, are you alright?
You got me like that.
Evie sighs and tells Justin she needs to get some sleep. He agrees, saying he has work early the next morning anyway. As Evie takes off her headphones, she hears the lights flickering. Swallowing hard, she slowly heads upstairs and enters Evelyn's room, adjusting the light. The next morning, she brings a drink for her mother, only to find that Evelyn has soiled the bed again. Evie quietly cleans everything up. She tries to get her to drink, but Evelyn remains completely motionless. As Evie looks around, she notices a portrait hanging slightly crooked on the wall and instinctively straightens it. Later, Evie downloads the fourth audio file and isolates the part where Jessa was speaking unintelligibly. She enhances the audio and then reverses it, trying to make sense of it. A few days later, Evie and Justin sit down to record another episode. Justin tells her that Jessa is saying come in Abazu, but in reverse, in the fourth recording. Evie frowns and asks who, or what, Abazu is. Justin explains that he looked it up. Abazu is a demoness from Middle Eastern and European folklore, also mentioned in early Christian texts like the Testament of Solomon from the 1st century AD. According to legend, Abazu was cursed with infertility, which made her deeply envious of women who could bear children. She would sneak into homes and kill newborn babies, often by strangling them. As punishment, King Solomon had her hung in front of the temple in Jerusalem, but her envy somehow survived into the afterlife, twisting her into a wandering demon believed to cause miscarriages in stillborn babies. Justin tells her the most recent thing he could find on Abazu came from locals in Sikihor, who believe that she once inhabited a statue of Saint Rita of Cassia, the patron saint of cursed mothers. The locals claim that a woman who worshipped the statue killed her husband for cheating and their baby, then placed the baby's skull onto an inverted crucifix in the statue's hands. Evie tells him to play the next file, and Justin plays the 6th recording.
Good morning.
How'd you sleep?
Slept like a baby.
You woke up from a nightmare.
I don't remember.
You were yelling in your sleep.
Really?
I have it all recorded.
Let me hear it.
Justin points out how strange it is that Jessa has no memory of speaking in reverse at all. Evie lets out a small laugh and jokingly suggests demonic possession. Justin doesn't find it funny. He points out that there are documented cases of demonic possession across centuries in various religions. But Evie cuts in, arguing that those cases come from a time when people didn't understand mental illnesses like psychosis. Justin asks if psychosis can really make someone speak in reverse. Evie replies that, unconsciously, it's possible. Justin then finds something unsettling. He tells Evie that when Jessa says, "Come in, Abazu," there's a parallel pattern in the waveform, as if 2 different voices are overlapping. Evie shrugs it off, suggesting it could just be a glitch. Justin then plays the 7th file.
Okay, I'm skipping to the bump.
Jessa? Jessa! What is it? There's nothing in here.
Evie suggests the baby crying was probably coming from one of their neighbors' houses. Justin then says he just tried replying to the email that sent the recordings, asking who they were, but the message bounced back. He says he initially thought the email address was just a random string of letters, but now, looking closer, it's actually "Come in, Abazu," spelled backwards. Evie scoffs, calling it clever, and tells him to play the 8th file.
Wait. Wait.
Stay here. Where the fuck is that coming from?
Justin tells her he's searching "Come in, Abazu," spelled backwards. A minute later, he finds a study about a psychologist who treated 2 patients, both obsessed with "Come in, Abazu," backwards. One spent days texting it to random numbers before drowning her baby in a kitchen sink. The other was a ceramic artist admitted to a hospital after making hundreds of figurines of dead children and giving them away to young women in her neighborhood, before later taking her own life while 5 months pregnant. Unsettled, Justin insists they should stop listening to the files and scrap the episode altogether. But Evie refuses, pointing out that their audience would love this. She suggests releasing it in 2 parts, one this Friday and the next after they record again on Monday. Reluctantly, Justin agrees and records the outro.
Join us next week, where we continue listening to the last 2 audio files. A conclusion to the mystery.
Or just more questions.
No, every story has an ending. This is it. I feel it. It ends next episode.
He also encourages listeners to call in during their live session on Monday between 2:30 and 3:30 a.m. Eastern Time, if they have any information about Jessa and Mike.
Until then, this is Justin.
And this is Evie.
Evie sits across from her mother and quietly tells her she's pregnant. She says she's thinking of naming the baby Mary, reminding Evelyn how she used to pray the Hail Mary for her every night. Then her voice falters as she admits she doesn't think she's fit to be a mother. Later that night, Evie takes some tablets and puts on a guided sleep meditation. The narrator's voice calmly describes a peaceful, picturesque scene until it suddenly begins to distort.
Tickle there, girl. The choking children. Dancing penance. A gentle breeze.
She hears her mother's voice from the other room, softly chanting, "Holy Mary, Mother of God, pray for us sinners, now and at the hour of our death." Evie enters the room, But the moment she enters, the chanting stops. Shaken, she snaps, yelling at her mother to say something, anything. Then, almost immediately, she regrets it and apologizes. Later, she leaves a voicemail for her doctor, asking for a callback and requesting a referral to a women's clinic. Monday arrives. Justin opens the episode by saying they only have 2 recordings left.
And before we dive in, I just want to give a heads up. Since we started this journey, we've heard some deeply unsettling stuff. There have been voices, babies crying, all of it leading back to one name, Abazu. So if you're still listening, maybe think twice.
Evie laughs it off, insisting it's all a hoax and that Justin is just falling for it. Justin, however, believes otherwise. He plays the 9th file. In it, Jessa tells Mike she doesn't feel well and says that the previous night she woke up but couldn't move. Mike wasn't beside her. Someone else was, a shadow. Terrified, she began praying the Hail Mary, but then the shadow started praying along with her.
It was fucking
Justin says the file seems corrupted. Then he notices something strange. His laptop shows the time as 2:40 a.m., but it should be 8:40 p.m. Evie smirks slightly and teases, "Glitch in the Matrix?" They receive a call from a listener, and Justin notices the number is from Evie's area code, Westerland. The man on the line reveals that Mike and Jessa used to be his neighbors, and that they're no longer alive. Justin immediately asks what happened, and the caller explains that the police found them at the bottom of the stairs in their house with plastic bags over their heads. He adds that their walls were covered in drawings of dead babies, and that Jessa was 5 months pregnant, before the call suddenly cuts off.
Hello? You're cutting out.
Another call comes in, this time from San Diego. Justin asks if she has any information about Mike and Jessa, but the woman says not directly. Instead, she talks about a woman who used to rent their basement, someone who played music in reverse every night, children's songs from what she could tell. One night, she and her father heard loud banging from the basement, and when her father went to check, he found the woman about to throw a garbage bag into the furnace. He stopped her. Inside was her dead baby. The woman was later arrested. Justin asks if she remembers the woman's name, but the caller says she was too young to remember. Evie laughs, asking if he really believes any of this. Justin says he does, but Evie brushes it off, pointing out that people love hearing the sound of their own voice, especially on a podcast. Still unsettled, Justin wonders if the word "tenet" in the email was actually pointing to a 10th file, maybe even a warning. Evie tells him the only way to find out is to play it. Justin hesitates, saying he doesn't want to, but Evie pushes him until he finally gives in and plays the 10th file.
Bubba?
She's listening.
Hey, get up. I'm gonna have to take you to hospital.
No.
We have to get
I
out of
have
here.
to warn her!
No. Just wait.
Look, and lick all the blood off now.
The file abruptly cuts off and Evie asks if Justin stopped it, but he says no. Then, without warning, the recording starts again.
Nothing's wrong, Justin, and I'm so cold.
Evie snaps at Justin, accusing him of pulling some kind of prank, but he firmly denies it. The caller asks to speak with Mary.
I'd like to speak with Mary.
Who is this?
I'd like to speak with Mary.
Justin, hang up.
I'd like to speak with Mary.
Then another call comes in, and this time a woman calmly warns them that they shouldn't have called out to Abazu because she waits in the 10th file, at the witching hour. Before they can process it, another call comes in. The caller introduces herself as Abby, sounding
Can you help me?
distressed.
Yeah, of course, we can help you.
How do I stop him from crying?
What are you doing?
It'll all be better soon, my little one.
Realizing she's about to drown her baby, Evie urgently tells her to stop, while Justin tells her to call 911. But Abby just keeps whispering that she's no good. Evie gently reassures her that she is. Then, Evie admits that she killed her own mother. She says that when she was younger, her mother used to pray by her bedside every night. But when her mother got sick and asked Evie to pray with her, Evie always refused, pretending she was busy or too tired. Eventually, her mother stopped asking, stopped talking, and stopped eating. Her voice cracks as she tells Abby that she isn't a bad person. Abby starts laughing, loud, manic, and unsensible. At the same time, the lights in Evie's house begin flickering violently. Her attention shifts to the TV, which suddenly turns on by itself. She rushes to unplug it, but the screen stays on. Justin urgently tells her to get out of the house, but Evie freezes, staring at something she's drawn. The lights begin bursting out one by one. Evie panics and calls out for Justin. He tells her he's calling for help.
I don't know what to do. I can't.
She runs upstairs and stops when she sees that her mother's bed is empty. Slowly, she steps further into the room, her eyes falling on the figurine nearby. Then, in the mirror's reflection, she sees her mother standing behind her.
I'm so cold. I'm so bunny muck.
Huwag mo